Hey guys, Matt from Dynamic Podiatry. I just want to have a quick talk to you today about footy boots because sign-on days are not that far away. Usually come up around February, and you might think middle of summer, what are we talking about footy for? But you're going to be needing boots for those pre-season training times and all that sort of thing. Now, while a lot of the developments in boots over the last few years have been largely sort of cosmetic, where you can get, PS3 games, designs on the boots, and all these different types of designs that they're able to put on them now. You're also getting these ones that have the sock coming up. You would have seen them on a lot of the footy players over the last couple of years. And sorry guys, just make that silent. And also you would have seen particularly Adidas and Nike really going head to head over the last probably couple of decades to get their slice of that footy boot market. But with lots of other brands coming on and producing really top quality shoes as well, boots as well. Obviously the Asics has been a really big one in a lot of sports, and particularly in footy boots too. So anyway, a couple of the key features that I wanted to talk to you about. One, these are the basic things that we get people to look for when they're looking for a footy boot for their child or teenager coming in, to give them the best support and the best all-round protection for their feet. Okay, so you really want, I've just got a couple of pairs of my son's pretty old footy boots here, so you can see they've been well loved. Thank you, Benny. And one of the main features that we want is a reasonably firm heel counter. So when you press on that, it should not easily just flop over. Some of them will do that. This one has a really firm one. It's got that extra support around there. But it doesn't have to be super firm. It still has to be comfortable. So really you need to get your child or teenager to try the boot on with their footy socks and run around a bit in the shop and really get a bit of a feel. It's not going to be the same as on the field, we know that, but even if you can get just a bit of a feel for how they are, that's going to be a lot better than getting out there and absolutely hating them. All right, another one of the features that we look for is an old favorite, is that it bends around that area, okay? So your toes, your foot bends in that area, so to propel you forward. So you need the boot to be able to do that. That's a really key feature, and both of these shoes have that. This one is more of a softer, pliable upper, and some people will prefer that type of boot. This one has a more rigid sort of sole on it and upper, and some people will need that if they need a lot of motion control. Another thing to really look for is how wide they are across the metatarsal heads. So the metatarsal heads are just behind the toes there, that joint that connects your toes to your feet. And some people will need a particularly wide forefoot, depending on their forefoot shape, okay? So Puma have always been one that make an extra wide forefoot compared to some of the other brands, but Nike as well is wider than a lot of them. Whereas I suppose Adidas has tended to be a little bit narrower over time. Another thing to check for is the stud pattern, and to make sure that it's suitable for the activities that you want. So you'll notice here that most of the studs are running in that along the length of the boot. So they are great for running in the one direction and keeping you nice and stable, okay? These ones here are great for when you're twisting and turning or going side to side, and they help that. But some people don't like to have a lot of these because they affect the way they run. There's lots of other features of boots that are really important. In Brisbane, on our harder pitches, especially when there hasn't been a lot of rain, you don't want particularly long tags. You probably want the shorter type of tag. And when it's really boggy and wet, you're going to want a fairly bit longer tag than that, okay? So they use a lot more of those, say in Britain and places where it does rain a lot more. Okay, look, that's probably all I wanted to talk to you about. There's heaps of other things about how the boot feels on the foot, how it feels when you're kicking the ball. You can get kangaroo leathers, and they just keep updating and developing those even better all the time. But trying to give you just the very basic features of a footy boot, so that when you, one more very important one I forgot. If your child wears orthotics or may need to wear orthotics, make sure that it has a removable insole. With the removable insole, we can take that out and put an orthotic in, and you'll virtually lose no space at all, okay? Because the orthotic will be shaped to the foot, and you've got that thickness that you're taking out of the boot. Nearly forgot that one, very important. Okay, guys, I'm going to try and do some more live videos, a lot more than we did last year, keeping up to date regularly with topics to do with feet and general lower limb health. But thanks very much for watching, and stay tuned. It's Matt from Dynamic Podiatry. Thank you.